What's going on, guys? Mark Jones, Black Stain Carpentry here. Got an interesting video for you. I ended up having to put tape down as a zero clearance guard because I didn't have one made on hand. I got my tall ripping fence that I made and a couple of 16-inch shims here that if folded over obviously it makes 1/8 inch. I'm cutting 1/8 inch panels out of this, I believe it was 8-quarter lumber actually. Here we go, walnut. I bought a very long stick where I cut a couple of these into, I believe, 15 3/4 inches so that I could make 3 panels across and then laminate them over and over again in almost like a weave pattern, like Lincoln logs, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. You'll see what I mean. They crosshatch to make like my own type of solid walnut plywood. But if I didn't put this blue painter's tape down across the whole span of the cut area, the wood would have fallen through the gaps in between the blade and the cover plate on the saw, which would have been a major issue. So a quick, easy way to fix that is putting some blue painter's tape over the throat of the saw cut area. You're watching this all in real time this first time through. My saw did not go completely through the height of this walnut blank, so I ended up coming through with a handsaw to split the two apart. Now I intentionally did it so there was only about like a 1/16 or an 1/8 left over, holding the two together so that it would easily be planed off and it wouldn't be too much work where I had to use like a sawzall, which could have damaged the wood, and then I would have had to take even more lumber away in this planing process that I'm doing right now. Yes, this is a pretty tedious process, but I did do it just in an afternoon when I got home from work. As you can see, I'm clearly in my high-vis construction getup. So the process here is all you do is you're cutting an 1/8 inch on the saw off of the walnut blank, then flipping the board over, doing it to the other side, cutting it with the handsaw, and then planing the other side to have a completely flat blank.
We should buy a bar.
Yeah. Well, no doubt about it, it would be the nicest woodwork bar that it would win awards. But
Tell you one thing, that is a damn fact.
it would make a
I'm making a bar for Andy. Andy's dad. All right, continuing with this process, it's just going to be a little repetitive over and over again. But cutting these panels, the board's thick enough, and you know where the blade's going to be. Like right here, you can see how you only came through halfway. I keep my fingers away from the blade completely the whole time. I do end up going over the blade, but see here how I grab a push stick to make it safer. My hand is still there, yes, but I still have like 1 inch left of material, and see how my fingers completely clear the blade should there be any type of little mistake. I sped this footage up a little bit. If you want to see the real time of it going through one shot, go back to the very beginning of this video. Right here, you can clearly see how there's just that little bit of material left over that I then go use a handsaw to cut through, and then here I am once again sending everything through the planer. It was a whole process doing this. It was kind of fun. Like I said earlier, I just did it in one afternoon when I got home from work one day. But it's kind of tedious because it's not like a bunch of planing in a row. It's not a bunch of sawing in a row. It's not a bunch of hand sawing in a row. It's literally like go from one machine to the handsaw to the next machine to back to the first machine over and over again. So yes, it is a little tedious. And see here, it gets real thin, so you can tell that I'm being extra careful with an extra push stick, trying to get the best grip possible. Just keeping my fingers away because now it's too dangerous. And you can see, like, if I didn't have that blue painter's tape, this whole piece would be through the bottom of the saw. Scary, scary, scary. I mean, the process of cutting, it cut pretty smooth. I actually really dislike cutting walnut on the table saw because there's a lot of chips. I have relatively good practice on the table saw, limiting accidents, kickback, and whatnot. I am not wearing safety glasses in this, which is a mistake, but one that I chose. So I did send all of these panels through the planer. I guess I didn't have any footage of that, but anyways, I sanded everything also to get it ultra smooth and consistent, 220, and I was basically left over with just one of the boards left. I ended up losing that much material throughout this whole process, but I had more than enough of these panels. I ended up doing this process again when I made my thin live edge desk. It was a personal project I did. I will share a link in the description for it. It was actually a really cool build of mine. But anyways, I think I ended up getting 15 panels out of this, which is perfect for what I was trying to do. Going 3x3, making my own hardwood, plywood. Here I got my work surface that I'll be working on, and for easy cleanup, I'm just going to set up my silicone mat. Did not cover the whole thing, so came back with some plastic just so that if I had any glue drip, it would be completely covered. Knowing that I wanted to clamp this, I'm looking at my layout, and what I did was I suspended it with some scrap wood that I had just so that I knew I had plenty of room to get my scraps underneath, my clamps underneath. Once I put the protection down, put a little blue painter's tape on my scrap woods to suspend everything. I'm going to be putting blue painter's tape on this just to contain glue from dripping through on what will be the underside. Only wood glue to use when making anything that might be in contact with food is Tape Bond 3. Some people use Tape Bond 2, but I don't trust it at all. I ended up using almost a whole bottle of Tape Bond 3 on this, and actually a little bit left over. That's why it's in a plastic cup. Using a Bondo scraper to cover every last bit of wood fibers. Once I am comfortable with the glue, I can start putting down my next panels. Make sure I put a little bit of glue on the crack. Repeating this process over and over again. I just want to thank everyone that stuck around and watched this video. Please like and comment. You don't have to subscribe unless you're a family member of mine. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? You're just looking at my Facebook and seeing I posted a video and you're sitting through 8 minutes worth of this footage. Anyways, put some clamps on here, and through the magic of television, a bunch of them. You want as much clamping pressure as possible horizontally. And once you take the clamps off, that's the bar top I have underneath, but here is my hardwood plywood. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.